Recently, I passed my driving test, which means I got my probationary license. Basically, a normal license, except with a couple more restrictions. Basically, the same thing. Now, the thing about getting a license and being able to drive is that your parents expect you to drive your sibling. And so, now what day is it? Wednesday. It is my job to drive my brother to his piano lessons. Now I like driving. Driving I think is actually pretty fun, in my opinion. But as today's story will tell you, driving can also be pretty dangerous sometimes. So, basically, the story starts off as normal. I'm driving my brother to his piano lesson. All right, we get there. My brother goes in. Now, usually I stay with my brother, right? I stay with my brother at his piano lesson, and then I go inside, do some work, whatever. But today, my brother was like, "Oh, you should go to the supermarket and buy some of these Yakult drinks for me." And like we both like drinking this Yakult drink. It's like this probiotic yogurt drink thing. It's really nice. And so I'm like, okay, sure. Now I never gone to the supermarket by myself before. And if I had, it hadn't been like actually driving there myself. So it's pretty cool. You know, I parked in the parking lot. Here's where started. I almost ran over a person, which was not good. Like I was trying to get out of the parking lot, or I was going into the parking lot, and this person just came out of nowhere with a shopping cart, and then I almost ran them over. But luckily I stopped. Yeah. So that was the first incident, and I think the reason why I was having increased driving incidents today was probably because I was running on like 1.5 hours of sleep because I slept at like 5 a.m. or something. Anyways, that's a story for another time. My horrible sleep schedule. But after I almost ran the person over and successfully got the probiotic yogurt drinks, I went or started driving back towards my brother's piano teacher's house. And so, right, on the way back, everything was nice, right? No incidents there. But I decided for some reason, I was like, oh, so I was at like the entrance to my brother's piano teacher's neighborhood, right? And I'm like, oh, there's like 15 minutes left. I have some time to spare. I think there were actually like 25 minutes left. So I'm like, oh, I have some time to spare. So I'm like, okay, why not drive past this neighborhood and explore a bit what's on the other side? And so that's what I did. I drove past the neighborhood and explored a bit. And what I found was quite interesting. So, I drive past the piano teacher's house. And then past that is actually the hospital. And so I don't yet reach the hospital. I'm very not familiar where this road is, but like I'm not yet at the hospital, but there's this intersection, right? And usually when you see an intersection, it's a four-way intersection. And so, right, I'm driving along this intersection. This is gonna be hard to explain without a visual. Maybe I'll remake this video with a visual if it does well. Anyways, so I'm at this intersection. And I look to my right. It's a red light right now, so I look to my right, and there's this like cool little path. I wouldn't describe it as path. It looked like a road. I'm like, oh, that looks like an interesting road. It's kind of cool, kind of like natural. You know, there's some overgrowth on the sides. Maybe it'll be like a cool nature trail or something. I have no idea what I was thinking. And so, during the red light, you know, you're allowed to turn right during red, unless it says no turn on red, in which it didn't. So I turn right. I go into this, and it turns out this road I thought that was a road is actually, well, it is a road, but the problem with this road is that it has been closed off, meaning that the only way I can go back now is the way I came. And my car is oriented like so that it's unable to U-turn because the road I turned into is extremely narrow. I cannot U-turn from it. And so, right? What I have to do is I have to back into the intersection. Now you have to understand, intersections by themselves are like one of the most dangerous things you can face when driving a car. Now backing into an intersection, that is like the most challenging car related thing I've ever done. And so I had to make sure, right? Because I waited until like all the cross traffic was gone. But then I had to deal with the people making their left and right turns. And so when I finally like backed up, like I thought I was gonna go too slow and I was gonna miss the light and then people were gonna get mad at me. I almost like crashed in this person that was making a right turn. But luckily they were like super nice and they like stopped in time and they were like waved their hand and let me go. And yeah, that was quite the stressful experience. It was, yeah, one of the most difficult things I've ever faced driving. And yeah, I've also learned from my experience that if you are extremely sleep deprived, it's probably not a very good idea to drive because your judgment will be heavily impaired. It's almost like you're drunk. But yeah. Anyways. Yeah, and then on the way back, I got lost. I got lost in the piano teacher's neighborhood. Couldn't find the house. And I almost ran over a kid on a bike. Yeah, it was so strange. Today there were so many kids with bikes, too. There were so many people on the bike. I was driving my brother on the way to the piano house. And then there were... I must have encountered like 5, 6, 7 bikes. When normally I encounter like one at most. And so, like, yeah. It was like... truly the epitome of a driving challenge today. I was going on 2 hours of sleep, you know. I had to back out of an intersection. I had to avoid like 10 million bikes. Anyways, driving is fun. So hopefully you guys are excited to drive too, if you can't already. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out my first channel. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. Make sure to check out my first channel where I post actually good videos. And I will see... Oh yeah, also join the Discord where the Nomcult is really taking over. It's kind of concerning, honestly. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright. Bye. Oh my, what is going on?